Have you ever found yourself lying awake at 3 in the morning, your mind spinning through every problem, every worry, every what if you can possibly imagine? Maybe it's something big, your health, your finances, a relationship that's falling apart. Or maybe it's smaller things that somehow grow larger in the dark. The email you forgot to send. The conversation that didn't go quite right. The uncertainty of tomorrow. If you've ever felt that weight, that tightness in your chest, that exhausting cycle of worry that seems impossible to escape, you're not alone. You're deeply, profoundly not alone. Today, I want to sit with you in that space, not to dismiss your worries or tell you they don't matter, but to explore some ancient words that have brought comfort to anxious hearts for over 2,000 years. These words weren't written by someone living an easy life. They were written by a man in chains, facing an uncertain future, who somehow discovered a peace that didn't make logical sense. Let's take our time with this. There's no rush here. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. I'll read this slowly, and I invite you to just receive it. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Let's just let those words settle for a moment. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Do not be anxious about anything? That sounds lovely, but has this person met my life? Has this person met my brain? I understand that reaction. And I want you to know, this verse isn't a dismissal of your very real struggles. It's not a command delivered from a place of comfort and ease. It's an invitation. And to understand that invitation, we need to understand where it came from. The first part says, do not be anxious about anything. In the original Greek, the word used here is merimnate, and it doesn't just mean casual concern. It describes a dividing of the mind, a pulling apart, being torn in different directions by worry. It's that scattered, fragmented feeling when anxiety takes over and you can't focus on anything else. Paul isn't saying never feel concerned about things. He's addressing that consuming, overwhelming kind of worry, the kind that fractures your peace and steals your presence. Then he says, but in every situation. Notice that. Every situation. Not just the small inconveniences. Not just the things that seem appropriate to pray about. Every situation, the mundane and the massive, the embarrassing and the overwhelming. By prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Here's what I find beautiful, Paul uses several different words here. Prayer is the general word for communicating with God. Petition is more specific, it's bringing your actual, concrete needs. And thanksgiving isn't about pretending things are fine when they're not. It's about remembering, even in the midst of difficulty, that you're not completely abandoned. That there have been moments of grace before. And then, present your requests. That word present is almost formal, like laying something before a king. But not in a groveling, fearful way. It's the posture of a child approaching a loving parent, saying, here's what I'm carrying. Here's what I need. Can you help me with this? And then comes the promise. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace isn't a feeling we manufacture. It's described as something that comes from outside ourselves, something that surprises us with its presence. It transcends understanding, meaning it doesn't always make logical sense. You might look at your circumstances and think, I shouldn't feel this okay. But you do. That's the mystery of it. And it guards your heart and mind. That word guard is a military term, like a soldier standing watch. The image is of protection, of being kept safe at the deepest level of your being. The letter to the Philippians was written by the Apostle Paul. And when he wrote it, he wasn't sitting in a comfortable home or a quiet garden. He was under house arrest in Rome, chained to a Roman guard, awaiting a trial that could end in his execution. Think about that for a moment. This man who was writing, "Do not be anxious about anything," didn't know if he would live or die. He had lost his freedom. He had lost control of his circumstances. He had been beaten, shipwrecked, stoned, and imprisoned multiple times before this. And yet, the letter to the Philippians is often called the letter of joy. The words joy and rejoice appear more than a dozen times in this short letter. How is that possible? Paul had discovered something. He had come to believe that his peace was not dependent on his circumstances, that there was a deeper reality holding him together, even when everything around him was uncertain. He wasn't writing as someone who had figured out how to avoid hardship. He was writing as someone in the middle of it, inviting others into a peace he had experienced firsthand. The church in Philippi, to whom this letter was addressed, was also facing their own pressures. They were a small community in a Roman colony, navigating social marginalization, economic pressure, and the daily tension of living out a countercultural faith. Paul wasn't giving them easy answers. He was pointing them toward a resource, a relationship, that could anchor them when everything else felt unstable. And there's something else worth noting. Just before this passage, Paul writes, "The Lord is near." This isn't primarily about the end of time. It's a statement of presence. God is close. God is not distant. Whatever you're facing, you're not facing it alone. That nearness is the foundation of everything that follows. So what does this look like for us, for you today? Let's be honest, we live in an age of anxiety. Studies tell us that anxiety disorders affect hundreds of millions of people worldwide. We have access to more information, more news, more awareness of problems than any generation before us. Our phones deliver an endless stream of reasons to worry, right into our hands, every single day. And I want to be clear about something: this verse is not a replacement for professional help if you need it. If you're struggling with clinical anxiety or mental health challenges, please reach out to a counselor, a therapist, a doctor. That's not a lack of faith. That's wisdom. But alongside whatever practical help you might need, this passage offers us a spiritual practice, a daily rhythm that can slowly, gently reshape how we carry our worries. Here's what I take from it. First, notice your anxiety without shame. Paul wouldn't have needed to write, "Do not be anxious," if anxiety wasn't a common human experience. The early church struggled with it too. You're not failing because you feel worried. You're human. Second, redirect your worry toward prayer. This doesn't mean your prayer has to be eloquent or perfect. It can be as simple as, "God, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Here's what I'm carrying." Just name it. Lay it down. You're not meant to hold everything alone. Third, include gratitude. Not toxic positivity, not everything's fine when it isn't. But intentional remembering. What small grace are you aware of today? A moment of kindness. A breath of fresh air. The fact that you're here, still trying, still showing up. Gratitude doesn't erase your problems, but it can shift your perspective just enough to create space for something else to enter. Fourth, wait for peace. And here's the hard part: you can't force it. The peace described here is not something you manufacture through sheer willpower. It's a gift. It's a response. Sometimes it comes immediately. Sometimes it comes gradually, over days or weeks of faithful practice. But here's what I've noticed in my own life, and in the lives of many others: when we create the conditions for peace, when we turn toward prayer instead of endless rumination, something often begins to shift. Not always in our circumstances, but in us. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a simple image. Imagine your heart and mind as a city. And right now, maybe that city is under siege, worries pressing in from every side, uncertainty battering the walls. But standing at the gate, there is a guard. And that guard is not your own strength. It's not your ability to figure everything out. It's the peace of God, mysterious, unexplainable, sufficient. You don't have to understand how it works. You don't have to earn it. You simply receive it, one moment at a time. So here's my gentle invitation for you today. Take one thing you're anxious about, just one, and bring it to God. Not with perfect words. Not with a performance. Just honestly. Here it is. I'm giving this to you. I don't know how to carry it anymore. And then breathe. And wait. And trust that you are held by something larger than your worry. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind. May that peace find you today. May it meet you in the middle of your mess. May it quiet the noise and steady your soul. You are not alone in this. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. If this helped you in any way, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you know someone who's carrying a heavy weight of worry right now, maybe share this with them. Sometimes the right words at the right time can make all the difference. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. If you found this meaningful, you don't have to walk this journey alone. By subscribing, you'll receive regular reflections designed to help you slow down, realign, and live with intention in a noisy world. Subscribe today and let's continue this conversation one thoughtful step at a time.